Hi, Alexander. Can you hear me?
Hello, yes, Stefan, I can hear you.
Yeah, brilliant. Excellent. So we just wait a few more minutes, see if anyone else comes in.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, but I don't have the webcam. I hope it's not a problem.
Oh, no worries. It's good that I can speak to you. So that's cool. Where are you coming? Excuse me. Where are you coming in from tonight?
I'm from Milan, Italy.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you found out about this through Meetup, is it?
Sorry?
Through Meetup. Is that where you...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, wow. Okay. That's quite interesting. It's got such wide reach. That's cool.
And where are you from? Are you
Yeah, I'm based in London.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's really good. Hi, TP.
Hi,
No, see, where are you coming in from tonight?
I'm in Hamburg, Germany at the
Wow,
moment.
okay, so we're international again. This keeps surprising. We keep going from London based to overseas. So this is really surprising. No, this is really good. We just give it a few more minutes, give people time to come in.
Yeah.
The first 5 minutes is always being distracted, letting people in and that. So, and how are both of you? We got Alexander here as well. How are you going with your acting at the moment? Are you sort of professional acting, or where are you?
You go first, TP, or?
Well, I can answer. No, I'm not. I'm just learning. Actually, I write screenplays. I've done like, I don't know, 3 short films now, 1 series and 1 feature film is ready, but I haven't sold anything. So I'm like a amateur starting screenplay writer, and I created 1 character, so I'm learning to act a little bit.
Yeah.
And we made a film last summer, a short film in Finland, and my uncle is an actor.
Yeah, okay.
And actually I told about this workshop today. Maybe he's coming to, probably not, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. No, this will really resonate because you're a writer. I'm a writer as well. That tonight's what I'm going to say will really resonate for you as a writer as well. So no, and kudos to you. Everyone has got to start off as an amateur. So you just got to get moving. I believe in Nike. Just do it. Just start doing what you can just to move forward. And then, yeah, you start fine tuning as you move forward. So no, so many people want to do it and don't do it. So
I'm really scared.
No, that's great. Yeah, at least you're honest. Yeah.
But yeah, I know it's all part of the business. Yeah.
No, cool. Thanks for sharing. Alexander, do you want to?
Yeah, I am an actor. I work in the theater. I have my own group, and we do acting shows in my city. But I would like always to improve and get better. So that's the reason I'm here. I would like to learn something from you, and have some new insight. There is always room for improvement, and that's the reason why.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. It is. It's true of all of us. Yeah, you can forever learn. So more people are joining us now. So just bear with me as I let them come in. So I'll be repeating myself. Now we've got newbies coming in. So thanks for joining early. So yeah, no, this is cool. This is really good. So hi, welcome everyone. So we get going now. It's gone 8 o'clock. So if those of you that have just joined, if you could put in the chat where you're zooming in from, that would be brilliant. And if I can ask, sorry, everyone, more people are coming in now. And if you can say where you're zooming in from, and if I can ask as well, can you share with me at the end one thing that you've learned and that you think you can apply or take away from this workshop? That would be really appreciated. So yeah, so if all of you that are just joining, if you can say where you're zooming in from. Wow, so Barcelona, Hamburg, excellent. Okay, no, that's cool. Welcome, Laura from Barcelona. So yeah, so about myself very briefly, the aim of this is I talk, we got an hour, I aim to talk for about half an hour and then we'll make it interactive rather than you sitting patiently and listening. I'd rather make this interactive, answer any questions that I can. really engage with you. So yeah, so I'm a screen acting coach as well as a writer, producer, director. And I recently launched an online screen acting drama training school called don'tgotodramaschool.com. I worked in UK TV in the mid-90s, working on a wide variety of sort of what's known legacy drama serials, some of the top shows. And I worked as an assistant director and a script writer and script editor. I created the world's first internet soap opera. I trained with Hollywood's #1 screen acting coach, Ivana Chabuk, that has taught Brad Pitt, Jim Carrey, Halle Berry, amongst other, all the names that you've heard. And her stuff works. You can get someone acting within 10 minutes that's never acted before. So that's why I teach her stuff. And I'll be sharing some of her stuff tonight. I've just pitched a hugely revolutionary TV show concept to Netflix. And tonight, what I'm talking about is part of that. I'm also a professional happiness coach, teaching positive psychology and success motivation. And the two work in hands. You know, drama ultimately is about the psychology of character and how they get through life. So yeah, and you realize when you're writing that you need to know how characters, how the human brain works and how people respond psychologically to create truthful characters. And I use this stuff, which I'm teaching in my own life, and this stuff moves you. So, and this, what I'm teaching specifically tonight around acting, it has affected me massively creatively. And I've been able to find my own voice and move and kind of, you know, sort of wow people with what I'm going to teach you tonight. So about this workshop, drama schools, specifically in the UK, maybe internationally, you can tell me, teach you acting technique, but not success mindset. Only 2% of trained actors graduating from UK drama schools year on year end up on the West End stage. And statistics show that 90% of trained actors give up on their acting dreams within 18 months of graduating, which suggests to me something is going very wrong in the, you know, normal sort of drama training circles. If I can ask, if you can put in the chat, and yeah, how many of you have been to drama school? If you could share that information or some kind of drama training, that'd be interesting. You can, all right, no, that's fine. That's, do you know what? So, I've got to say, some of my best students have never had any acting training. So brilliant. Okay. And that's fantastic. Yeah. So, you know, as Yoda says, you must unlearn what you have learned. And sometimes, you know, it can be hard to let go of what you've been taught. Yeah, no, Alexander, thanks for that. So, and how many of you do you feel are moving in the direction of some kind of acting career? I think that's really important for your own mental well-being. If you could put that in the chat. Those of you that joined a bit late, I'm going to ask you at the end, if you can share with me one thing that you feel you learned from this workshop that you're going to take away. Okay, hopefully you're all typing away. Nothing's coming through at the moment. I'm recording this, by the way, so I'll post it on YouTube and send you the link afterwards. Wow, okay, Augusto, that's great. Which uni are you at? I see your pictures just appear. You look very cool. Which uni are you at? Oh, no worry. Cheers, Laura. I'll send you the link if you, I'll send it out to you via Meetup. Okay, yeah, no, this is all screen acting based. So you play the piano and sing, that's fine. I will help you with that tonight, I promise. Cool, okay. So I'm going to share with you tonight 2 core reasons why most people and most creatives fail. And this applies to acting, writing, painting, singing, etc. Okay, no, that's great. Okay, Alexander, we're going to do that for you tonight as well. Okay, most actors, and this is quite a radical thing, consider if this is you, fail because they're uninteresting and boring. They play predictable choices and they lack charisma. I'm going to tell you tonight how you get charisma. Okay, but I've worked with over 1,500 actors. I've trained that many at my last count, more than that. Okay, and most actors go into acting to run away from themselves. They want to become someone else. They want to become this thing called a character. And here's the shocking news. That is impossible. You can never do this. The only way creatively you can ever achieve any kind of success is to offer a unique, authentic product to the acting marketplace. And that is you. That is every element of your life experience and your personality today. Okay. When you're auditioning and when you're working, you have to be 100% you. There's only one of you that has walked in your shoes. And if you switch you off for a moment, you're denying the world your brilliance. Okay. If you reject everything that you are when going into acting, your unique personal life experience, your pain, your trauma, your love, your happiness, what have you got left to offer, to draw upon? Nothing really. You've got imitation or cliche. And very quickly, they become empty and repetitious. Okay, and your acting becomes lifeless and one-dimensional. And is it tippy as well? This is really interesting. This applies to script writing, and I learned this. Okay, yeah, once you start writing from your life experience and acting from your life experience, you just feel it. You just go to a whole new level, and the people around you feel this as well. Okay, yet most UK-based drama schools still teach empty technique, which is very stage-based. At a time when screen acting is on the rise, think Disney Plus and Netflix, there's going to be more of those streamers coming, broadcast television's on the way out. Viewers demand much more real, authentic, deeply emotional performances from their actors. Okay, if you as an actor are genuinely moved in the moment, so are we, the audience. And why do we keep coming back to visual storytelling? It's because we want to feel, and we're looking for actors to make us feel. And unless you're tapping into your truth, you can't make us feel. You've all seen really bad actors try and imitate crying, and you know it's fake straight away. We've even seen politicians on television over the COVID crisis in the UK pretend to cry, and they're just awful. It's so insincere. And so if you are to genuinely deliver anything that is truly unique and original, you have to activate you. That's the only one option that you have. And ironically, that is everything that you have. Sorry, can you hear me? Is everyone still here? Sorry, I cut out then.
Yeah, we can hear you. It's just the connection was touch and go.
Yeah, it is. It's sorry, it's my Wi-Fi. We're having issues. But you're back now, yeah? Was you able to hear me before?
Not very much. I mean, it was breaking up all the way through. It just got really bad towards the end.
Oh, that's the Wi-Fi. I can only apologize. I'm in a shared community building, and we've got Wi-Fi issues ongoing. What I'm doing, I'm recording this, so I will put it for you to. I'll send you the link, and you can hear the playback. Okay, but I heard you fine then. Did you hear me? Can you hear me fine now?
Yeah, it's fine at the moment.
Yeah, okay. So this is by tapping into your true, original, unique self. This will bring you originality and charisma, and it's going to make you interesting. But true creativity takes courage. How does this sound to everyone? Is this quite radical, or do you feel you're doing this already?
I think I've heard it before, but I think in general in human beings, accepting yourself is not that easy.
Yeah, absolutely. This is why so many people fail, because you have to True creativity takes huge courage. So what I'm saying, you know, the title of this, how to bring your unique self to every role. See the character as a glove, but instead of taking yourself to the character, you bring the character to you. You make it fit around you, not the other way around. The glove has to fit you. Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me? We've got issues.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. I can hear you perfectly. Yeah. Okay, so how do you do this? I teach with my drama school, online drama school. I teach various techniques. Some of you may have heard, they are quite similar to the.
Okay.
You have the mic off, Stephen.
I keep cutting out. I'm so sorry. I did a Zoom literally an hour ago and it was fine. It is this connection where I am. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
At the moment, yes.
Yeah, okay. I'm so sorry. I will complain. It just keeps going on. But I did a Zoom about an hour ago and it was fine. Okay, so yeah, so there's maybe some Stanislavski techniques which are similar. You may have heard of projection, mental references, mental monologue, all of which tap into yourself. Tonight, I'm going to share with you one technique which I teach in my workshops that gets everyone digging deep. And you can use this going forward from this moment, this point in time onwards. Use it in your writing, in your singing, in your art, your painting. And it's going to give you a solid foundation to start delivering everything I'm talking about tonight. So let me show you. Let me share the screen with you. And it's basically this, it's a personal timeline. You create a personal timeline of your whole life. Add only the significant, memorable moments, no need for the mundane stuff. But put everything in there, okay? All the positive memories that you have, the trauma stuff, the negative stuff, the happy moments, the sad moments, the births, the deaths, put everything on there, okay? And you can do it over several pages, use however much paper you need, okay? And you can make it, you can write it in code if you're afraid that other people might see it. And you don't want them to see. So here's an example of kind of what one can look like. So you see like the first one here, first memory. What's your very first memory? Can you remember? This person's first memory was in a toilet at play school. And their first play was as a king in the school nativity. And just remember all the random stuff because it's all part of you. It's all your uniqueness. And you can start using this to tap into your true self, which you can then bring to characters. What doing this does very quickly reveal is what your triggers are. Okay, what stuff is still raw to you, and you like I think as Augusto said, you have to, or Alexander maybe, you have to face up and use those traumas in your acting if you're ever going to sort of bring deep resonant emotion into your work. Imitation doesn't work anymore. Do any of you want to, sorry, Augusto said, why can't we use the mic? Sometimes you get a lot of background noise where people are in different environments. Do you want to come in and join in the conversation, make this a two-way conversation, okay? But this is what the great actors are doing every day. And that's why they're great, because they're able to tap into their true selves and really dig deep and feel the work. Not everyone can do this. People, the thing about talent, brilliance, is that they make it look so easy and effortless, and it isn't. It's very easy to just skimming the surface, just saying lines, pretending to feel something when you're not. It takes so much time and rehearsal, thinking time, thinking over options about what it is, when you're saying a scripted line from a script that might relate to a place or a person or event, if you just say those words without any mental reference in your own head that resonates for you, it just comes out as an empty word. But if you can spend the time going through what your personal references are that you can bring to the script, then your performance is just going to resonate on a completely different level. But that does take a lot of rehearsal and time, personal time, working with the text to get. Any questions on any of that, or have any of you tried this work?
Yeah, may I ask a question, please?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Make this a conversation.
Do you suggest when creating a character to look up on what, for example, other actors did on their character, or do you suggest to create one for your own with your own feelings instead of like copycat what they did?
So are you playing like a Shakespeare or something like that, then a well-known play?
No, let's suppose I have to study a monologue from Forrest Gump, for example.
Oh yeah, okay.
And when Forrest is in front of the tomb of Jenny, I don't know if you have this scene in your mind.
Yeah, I know Forrest. The thing with Forrest Gump, straight away, it's a well-known film. A lot of people are going to know it. So they're going to know straight away if you copy that.
Yeah, so when do you suggest to like see how he acts on that scene, or do you suggest to take it, don't see it before you're creating your character and just do it by yourself? Because I don't want to be biased on what he does.
Yeah.
But in the same time, I mean, to get better, you have to learn from there.
Yeah, I would say I've been in this situation myself years ago when I acted. My audition piece for drama school was really, it was the same thing. I did a really well-known monologue, and the examiner knew it, so they knew what I could do, and I worked really hard at like finding my own original take on it. And it's kind of knowing what had gone before was almost like, okay, so this is what I can't do. So if you go in it that way, so I can't consciously make, it's all about being conscious, really. Life is, let alone acting. But if you go in and like say, okay, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this, then that's telling you where you can't go, which can then open up other opportunities for what you can do. And that's quite exciting if you look at it that way. But ultimately, so what is the context of the scene then? So it's Forrest and Jenny. Which scene is it? Which part of the film?
When he buried her under the tree. So it's the famous one. It's the famous monologue, I guess, of the film. Can't remind which, if it's in the hand or in the middle of the movie.
What does he say? What does it? I know there's a bit where the bit that stands out for me is when they're young and he saves her from the dad or something. Is it from her dad?
Yeah, he said, "You died a Saturday morning, and I buried here under the tree, our trees." And then I can't remember the rest. But,
right. Okay. That's near the end, isn't it? That is near the end. The third act. That is.
So, and I have to study this monologue for an act. And I watch it before to see how he embraced the feelings and how he act on that part. But at the same time, I don't want to copy him because it's actually impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, Hanks is one of the best actors in the world. So what's your suggestion to take a scene like that and make your own? Like,
yeah. So what is how long is the monologue? It's not that long, is it? I don't think.
Like 3 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. And what effect do you want to have on the audience?
Very sad, and like try to show them. I don't know, like make them cry and try to make it very sad.
Yeah, you want something really emotive. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no, this is good. This is good. So why, first of all, why do you think Forrest is saying this? Why is he saying it out loud and not just
Be-
thinking it in his head?
That's a nice question. Because I think he wants to show the public how he feels out loud. I don't know.
Okay, clarify. I would clarify that. Really work out why are they saying this? Why? And obviously it's in the script, so that's a kind of a dead. There's no creativity in that. So why would he be? What you need to work out the context of why you think he's saying this, because that will frame the whole thing then.
Yeah, so I have to do an analysis first and break down everything he does. And then, right. Yeah.
So have you, if I can ask you, this is where we go now. This is where this becomes relevant to what I'm saying tonight. Okay, and this is be a massive for everyone listening. So have you had, because obviously Jenny was really close to Forrest. It was like the love of his life, wasn't it? So
yeah.
So have you had anyone close to you die or lose? You've lost them in a different way, not necessarily death.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's what I was referring to when I tried to study the part. I was thinking about what happened in my personal life and try to bring it in my character.
Yeah. So why? So say that person, again, you've brought this to you now. This isn't you going to the character and just saying random lines because you've been told to. You've taken the character as a glove and you put it on you. You're bringing it to you. So why would you? What circumstance? What context would make you speak aloud to the person that you've lost and talk in this way?
Because I want her or him to hear me.
But for what effect? For what?
Probably because I want to say things that I never had the occasion to say. I'm not sure, actually.
Yeah, so this is, I appreciate your honesty. So it's clarity around that. So it could be, what if it was like you're saying this at their graveside?
Sorry?
You're speaking to them at the grave. You've gone to visit their grave and you're...
Oh, what I'm gonna say?
No, why you're saying it at this point in time. You need to be crystal clear on why you're having this conversation with this dead person aloud.
Okay, I understand. I don't know. Yeah, I have to work.
Yeah, it is so much of it. So much of acting is clarity, and this is where I say, like, it takes just one line. You know, you hear the top actors say they spent hours on just fine-tuning why they say one line. You know, and there's the classic "to be or not to be." That's the question from Shakespeare. What does that mean? How can you say that? Why does the character say that at that point in time? And that is such a trope. You know, a well said line. It can, if you don't give that line any thought, you're going to immediately expose yourself as a bad actor.
Yeah,
because the world knows that line. Whereas if you can really find a core reason of why you're saying it, you can wow the world and like, wow, this guy's found a new take on that line. So it is really with every line. I would, yeah, it is. And what I'd say, if you can tap into that, when you think of the person from your own life, is there pain there?
Yeah.
Yes,
there is.
Okay.
In fact, there is a lot of crying while I'm going to expose this. I mean, I can cry on cue, so that's the last of my problems, actually.
Okay. But with the crying on cue, you can show tears, but people know. What is the first thing that you try to do when you're crying?
Show the emotion. I don't know.
No. Does anyone else want to come in on this?
No.
Try not to cry.
Yeah, it's that. You try not to cry. As soon as you feel the tears come, it's a conflict. You've got that. You try not to cry.
And you have to show that?
Yeah, because that will show genuine. I've seen actors that like, oh my God, I'm crying. And it's like, and you're like, no, the first thing you do when you're you know, showing emotion in public is so vulnerable. The last thing you want to do is like, hey, I'm crying. And it is that we're constantly in those high stakes moments. You know, even when you're telling someone that you love them, that's such a vulnerable moment, and it exposes you. And there's so much vulnerability in that there's almost a rip. We're like, you know, I'm saying this, but I'm scared of the consequence. Whereas like a villainous character that's manipulative and wants something out of someone by declaring the love, they know it's not genuine love, so they're much more kind of confident in demonstrating their love because it's not genuine. Does that make sense? So it is like really, it is tapping into your own truth and the weirdness. We are such self-contradictory characters, all of us. And it's identifying that and really kind of honing your own memory and your own, like thinking about your own life and just think, wow, did I really behave like that?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, no, I really like what you said, the fact that you're questioning everything about this, because it is so much. How many, is it a paragraph or how many?
109, almost 200 words.
Okay, that's not much really, is it? So
yeah, no, it's not much, but yeah, it's very complicated to break it down.
Yeah,
every word and every emotion that, I mean, the actor that he does is very very nice. I mean, it's powerful, and even if you turn off the audio in the video, it's with the body and the face, it gives you
I would say as well, when you silence is a massive tool of communication. Yeah. Scripts just give you the words. They won't tell you when to use. If you can use silence, you can say more in silence than you say in words. Especially if you're genuinely feeling the moment and you're not talking, the audience will see your face. And so much, you know, they do say with scripts that you cut. A good actor would say, I can show that line in a look, and they were cut lines kind of thing. And that's where, you know, the lines of dialogue are just part of the performance. And whereas, you know, theatre trained drama schools, where so much stage plays are conveyed through conversation, because that's the only way you can convey the script. It's literally all the performances in the dialogue, and that's the complete reverse of screen acting. It's almost, sometimes it can be like, what you're not saying is that your truth.
I understand. Thank you for your explanation.
No, anyone else got any questions on?
Yeah, TP asked a question about your method, probably you in the chat.
Yeah, you talk about Stanislavski, I think, already.
Yeah.
It's about method acting, and I only know the very basics in theory, but I think what you're describing here is very much like method acting.
Do you know what? There's so many takes on method. I'm confused myself what method acting is.
Okay.
I just think it's one of those words that the acting industry just put out there to make themselves sound important and special. And I
think you're right.
It's got so mixed. It's such, you know, what one person says, it's not what another person would say. And it's very precious. The world of drama is, you know, this is sensitive work, and I can kind of understand the preciousness. But when it gets like pretentious, precious, then I think it becomes repellent and a bit toxic. And I think ultimately, you know, and this is one thing, I think ultimately all of us, as you know, all of us having this conversation now, the very reason we're artists and we've stepped up to be actors or writers or artists in general is because we've been traumatized in some sense. Life has bruised us, and our reaction to that is we want to explore ourselves and want to express ourselves. And I think that's what, and there's a delicacy and a sensitivity around that. But once it becomes toxic and like, oh no, you don't understand the technique, you're stupid. And I think anyone that's coming into the field, you know, there's a delicacy about them, and I think that should be respected. And I think once you start chucking labels around, like, oh, you don't understand Stanislavski, you're not a real actor. I think that's a bit snooty. But coming back to Stanislavski, the Chibuk stuff is the modern version, the Ivana Chibuk stuff that I teach. And you can find her stuff on the internet as well. But she teaches a modern, upgraded version for the screen, not the stage. And I think her stuff is the most relevant acting philosophy. I think there's too many that are staged, focused when we live in a world of screen acting now. I just think there's Stanislavski was from Russian theatre from 250 years ago, and it was a completely different context. There was minimal technology. Everything was dialogue based, and they just like, there was no emotion. They just performed like empty gestures, and there were cliche gestures that showed different ways of conveying character. And so his initial philosophy was a reaction to that. But now we're 250 years on, so his stuff's all out of date. So any drama school that's teaching Stanislavski, and it's translated from Russian as well, so it's open to misinterpretation. I would seriously question what they're saying. I know that's quite a controversial thing to say, but I just think it's this drama world talk that I don't think is very applicable, and it's banded about that, oh, you're doing a Stanislavski technique. I think the Chibuk stuff is basic human psychology. And when you approach it, it's asking you to break down your processes and the way you respond as a human being in any situation. And that makes you conscious of how characters behave. And so as a writer, it will aid your writing style and how you write scenes, but as an actor as well, it would give your scenes a multifaceted complexity. Because like when we love someone, when we fancy someone, the first thing, there's this kind of a duality. You don't just tell it, oh my God, I love you, you're beautiful. Your guard goes up. You're like, oh my God, I don't want anyone to know they've affected me. And you might become really distant. And the one person that you can't talk to in a room easily is the person that means the most to you. Is that just me that behaves like that, or is that human behavior?
Now that makes really good sense, Stephen. And what you've talked before, mentioning like the characters, it made me realize something. When I was doing my YouTube mashups, they actually are character based, and it didn't tweak until you started to break down and saying why would you say something like that, why would you it was actually quite amazing, like this revelation just from hearing you talk on the subject. So I do have a question for you.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
my next character, what I'm working on at the moment, would be someone portraying something dark. I already tried I think the rebellion character and the seductive sort of bimbo type as well, but this one I think it should be dark, and I'm not quite a dark person. So,
well, you say that,
I'm blonde, not naturally blonde, but not in that way dark. I mean,
okay, so what I do when I do drama workshops, because there's so many crime dramas on British television, I always give my actors police interview scenes, and someone has to play, one of them has to play the criminal, and one of them has to play the police detective that's like trying to get the truth out of the, and they always say, I can't do this. And it's like, and I'll say, right, okay, you've never been a police person before, but you have to activate the boss within you, and I get them to find that kind of their way to that kind of power. It's like, right, take control of the room. You've got 10 other actors in this room. For 5 minutes, I want you to be commanding in the way that I am as a tutor. They've got to become the tutor, and suddenly they have to find that strength and reserve within them to start being bossy, to start, demanding discipline. They have to raise their voice so that they're listened to, and their whole manner has to change for them to be commanding in that scene. And so they find it within themselves. So I would say to you, where you must have been dark at some stage in your life. When have you ever Have you ever shoplifted or anything like that, or lied, or had to lie to your parents or something like that? You don't have
Yes,
to
but
answer.
it's not
Answer is-
dark. I don't feel. I mean, I did lie to my parents. It's not what I'm saying, but it's just it feels like it needs to be.
Because when you
Not
think
sad. It needs to be.
the worst thing about it, if you're not tapping into yourself, when I have so many times when I've done soap operas and that, and so many people say, I want to play the villain, and then they want to play a stock villain. And it's, I would say, on if you're playing Macbeth is going to kill the king on page 18. That's his action. The script takes you there. You don't need to play this villainous. What if you show Macbeth as being the most nicest, friendliest person, and then he does this horrendous act? You don't need to show the darkness. You don't need to, look at Hitler. Hitler was, and these mass dictators, they're hugely charismatic. They don't get away with those crimes because people hate them. They've got the whole nation behind them. And it's tapping into that. Again, that's the complexity, the duality of. I was just thinking, was it Augusto, wasn't it, that you were talking about your? Was it you, Augusto, that's doing a Forrest Gump?
No, not really.
No, was it
Alexander?
Alexander, sorry, Alexander. Sorry, I'm looking at your picture here. Alexander, what if you did your looking at that duality? What if you did your scene, this really painful scene, like laughing? You're trying to kill your own pain. You're trying to laugh about it. That's a complete reaction to what you would expect it to do. Be expected to do. Oh, you've got this really sad scene. Be sad. It's like, no. What if you're desperately trying to be light about it? Yeah. So you're trying to deny your own pain in the same way. A really dark person would try and be really jolly and not dark, knowing they're going to be dark.
And that brings you what you said at the beginning about creativity and charisma.
Yeah, absolutely. People go, wow, I'm and it's not, if you can find your truth so that you're not just mimicking laughter or whatever, you're feeling it, but you're trying to deny that feeling.
Yeah.
And then people will see the complexity and what happened. What they say with drama, it's all about the subtext. The performance has to have a subtext. So you're not saying what you're really meaning to say, and people will see that. Once you've got this rip going on, this duality, that just in your mannerisms, your body takes over, and which is what screen acting is all about. You just, the best actors become amazing. That people are watching your behavior, and they're like, this person is saying this thing, but their behavior is suggesting something else. And that's when you become charismatic. Whereas the crappy actor would play stock. I'm threatening, I'm dark. And it's like,
yeah, I'll try that.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, again, it's rehearsal is your gift. So many people are like, oh no, can't we just get to the shoot? And it's like, no, use the rehearsal time to explore options and just see what works best. And I'd say the one that works best is the one that you feel the most, the one that you really feel it. So not only are you bringing like if the character's a glove, not only are you bringing the glove to you, you're putting it on and you're really feeling it. And you will feel the one that resonates deepest with you is the one to play. What I say, I've just got here, I've got some notes here. I created the world's first internet soap opera. It was like for a local community in the UK, in Portsmouth, and anyone could be in it. And every week I ran acting workshops, teaching people what I'd been taught at drama school, which was traditional stage acting techniques with some technical screen acting training. And for the first few years, and this was broadcast on the internet and a local TV station as well. And for the first few years, the acting was very dodgy. People knew it wasn't real. It was very surface. And I spent 7 years searching for the best acting training so that I could improve the show. And the change only happened when I come across these Ivana Chubuk techniques. and everything clicked into place. But strangely enough, half the cast started moaning and complaining, saying they didn't like it, saying what I was asking was too real and confronting, and they didn't want to confront themselves. They all wanted to go into acting to run away from themselves. And within 6 months, half of the cast quit. But the ones that stayed and the ones that then came on board and knew nothing else were brilliant. And everyone was like, wow, where have you got this quality of acting from? And it was these techniques. I was asking people to tap into their own truth, and not everyone could do it. So I would say you have to dig deep. You know, we've all been bruised, you know, abuse issues, long suppressed traumas. And the big thing about this is that your art, the more you dare confront, you know, the buried stuff within you, you kind of justify it. You realize it's your petrol. And I went to a Netflix event recently, and there was some top American actor, I don't know his name, but he was saying this. He said, when you realize the stuff for years you've tried to bury and repress, that is actually your petrol to success. And once you tap into that and you like turn it into fuel, then that's charisma. That creates charisma. You aren't denying yourself anymore, and you suddenly become this explosive energy on the set. And everyone has to respond to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that scary though? Is that scary?
No, it's wonderful. What you're saying, it really, really makes sense. Because to me, I felt like acting is just I need to learn to try to copy something or some idea.
No way.
But it kind of makes so much more sense to feel that and then add your own expression of what it's just really, really sort of turned it around for me quite a bit. So thank you so much, Stephen.
Oh no, my pleasure. I think creativity takes huge courage. I think you have to be willing to expose yourself and be like emotionally naked and dare to present to the world, whether it's in a script or in a performance, and say, this is what I felt and this is what I think, and I'm daring to share it with the audience. And when they connect with your authenticity, you will resonate with them, because you can guarantee most of the other actors they're seeing on. And that's why they keep going to see the few star names that are in all the films, and that all the producers want for all their films, because they dare to step over that mark and dare to expose themselves, and they're amazing. And the big thing is, for a producer, when you're on set, you just these people that are doing it have massive amounts of energy. They're just hypnotic watching them on screen. So what I'll say is, it's TP, isn't it? Is it TP? You're a writer, aren't you?
I try to be.
Yeah, you are. If you're putting finger to keyboard or pen to paper, whatever. So I would say start, once you realize the huge mine that you've got by tapping into yourself, you realize you've got so much untapped like material and potential and creativity at your disposal. And so I go to a lot of script writing groups where there's aspiring script writer, and they're all trying to write what has been seen on TV a few weeks ago, or what's similar to what's been at the cinema, and it's like, and you just know when someone is in a room and they present a script where they're writing from their own life experience, it just resonates on a whole different level. It's original, it's unique. It's not like, oh, that's Robin Williams, or that's, someone, blah, blah, blah. That role is for someone. It just resonates that, wow, okay, this is a complete original script. And those are few and far between, unfortunately, because too many people are trying to imitate. Is it, Alina, do you sing as well? Do you sing?
Yeah, I do mashups, just and medleys, and I sing the bits of it, but they're usually certain subject oriented. So there's definitely like a build of a character. I just didn't realize I was doing that until you start saying that. So it's quite amusing, sort of realizing something, I don't know, several months later.
Are you going to start writing your own material?
Eventually, yes, but I feel like I keep writing down all these mashups that I want to do. They just keep coming and coming and coming. So I think I need to get this out of my system first.
No, absolutely.
And
What I would say, I've seen a lot, and I went through this as well. I think we all have our idols that kind of attracts us to the performing world or TV world, and we try. I think part of the process of exploring and discovering your own creativity is to mimic your idols, and I think you have to go through that. I know Spielberg did it. He loved Hitchcock, and he mimicked that. But you have to kind of do that and break through that. So you've let it go, and then you start tapping into your own voice, and it is just deciding. No, I think my opinion is valid. I think it's very. I teach, as I said, I'm a life coach. I teach, like happiness and positive mental thinking, and it ties in that. The more you develop a strong and positive and loving relationship with the self, you realize, not on an ego level, but you realize just how valid your own voice and your perspective is. And you kind of authentically want to share that, not because you're ego driven, but because you feel no one else is saying it, and that there's a truth to your perspective. And that causes issues, I tell you, because we live in a PC world where the mainstream media don't necessarily want certain truths to be out there. But if as a writer or a creative, you can not arrogantly insist, but part of your value system is that, no, I want to tell the truth. I want to be authentic. You become quite a power in the room.
It's a little bit like with the medleys and the mashups that I started putting together. They're subject oriented, but they're also like they're telling a story. So in a way, I am doing like several people commented, it's like a new song altogether. It's because it makes different meaning combining several things together. It's just I feel like until I get it all out of my system, I can't move on to the next thing. Probably would be writing my own things and my own
that's
music.
good. Go with that. As long as you're producing something, I think when you become stagnant, as if that's bringing you joy,
yeah,
that's the route. Don't counter it. Don't question it. Just go with it. Enjoy it. I think that's. Do you all enjoy the process, what you're doing? And
very much.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Alexander, Tippy, do you enjoy?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's the signal that you're on the right path. If it becomes arduous and you hate it, then you're not going to wow an audience. You're going to create too much pressure for yourself.
Find character that help me express the feelings that I can't express in real life. I don't know if you understand what I mean.
Oh yeah,
I try to put them on the character because it's kind of complicated to find someone who listens to you when you have something to say. So, but when you put them on a character, they look in a different way. So I try to use it as a disguise. I don't know if I try to make the point.
Yeah, it's ironic, isn't it? I do think, like, as a character, you kind of feel, oh, I'm playing this character, so I'm not being me. I'm not exposing me. But the only way you can ever bring the character, because ultimately it's just words on a page, isn't it? That's what you're given.
Yeah.
And you're asked to bring your humanity and your whole physicality to it. So you have to expose yourself, even though you think you're not.
Yeah.
But the amazing thing about writing, I think, I'm more of a writer producer, and I started off acting, but I got frustrated just playing one part. When you're writing, you can play all the parts, and that's much. And you see the film as you rewrite. You see it in your head about 200 times, and you can keep tweaking it and improving it, and that's. So you're constantly looking for new ways to express yourself, and it is like almost splurging your perception of the world onto a page. Whereas when you're acting, you do it through your gesture and your performance.
I really like how you also asked the questions, like when you were talking to Alexander and you were probing him with the questions. I start asking these questions of myself, what would I? And it's really, it feels strange how the new type of thinking, new perception, like in your head, something changes with those questions. It's like, I don't know if you have a psychology degree, but it almost feels like,
yeah, the happiness coaching, the the mindset coaching that I teach is yeah, what I say, every speech is going to be, the same with yourself. If you think you behave, the version of you at work behaves differently to the version of you at home. And so whenever you change the context and the location of any character and who they're with, they're going to be different. So when you realize that, okay, so if you do that speech, the Forrest Gump speech that you're mentioning by a graveside, the solemnity of a graveyard is going to activate certain different emotion to say if you said that speech alongside someone at a supermarket checkout or something like that. Yeah. And it's just being aware of that truth, the context, the location context, and then what is making me say these lines at this point in time. What do I want from saying the lines? That's the main thing.
Makes sense.
The last thing I want to say, and this is deep, and this is kind of similar to what the guy at the Netflix, I need to know his name. I don't, but he said that big part of you, and I can relate to this. This is why I share it. There's a big part of me. For years, I buried it deep. I didn't share it with the world. It was a big trauma, and it was very emotive, and I buried it deep. And he said that big part of you that you've spent so much time and energy trying to hide and deny, if that very thing is what you need to tap into, and that is what is going to propel you forward in your art. And if you can unlock that and dare to confront that, then it's going to tick all the boxes. You're going to get your charisma. You're going to get your uniqueness. You're just going to tick all the boxes that everyone wants to do, because you're not blocking yourself anymore. And I know Jim Carrey, Liar Liar, and The Mask, he did that. He studied with Ivana Chabuk, and he wasn't, and his behavior, his weird behaviors that he does, the faces, he was doing that naturally. That was his real style. And yet when he was acting, he would switch all that off, and he kept going for auditions and not getting it anywhere. And then his tutor, Ivana Chabuk, said, why don't you start bringing this stuff that you do into your acting? And he was like, really? Do you want me to do that? And she was like, well, that's you. That's uniquely you. And he got what is the story. Again, it's a tragedy. His mother was ill when he was a child. And he did all that from a young age to cheer his mum up. That was his natural response to this pain that he was going through as a child. He just wanted to make his mum laugh. So he did all these funny walks and funny faces, and that's become uniquely him. So he was tapping into that pain in his acting and making the world laugh.
Sad and nice.
It's weird, isn't it? They say Jack Nicholson, he had a big trauma. He found out the person he thought, he grew up with I think it was his sister and his auntie. He was told his mum had died. And then he found out after his sister or someone, whether the sister or the auntie died, he found out that was actually his mum. But because of the time and the social standards, and I think he was born out of wedlock, and so that she could never admit, and that screwed him up. And he taps into that as an actor. And look how charismatic. He's not the most attractive guy, but his charisma is off the chart. He's just unique. And this will impact on your life, not just your acting life. You're just going to be the most confident person in the room, because you're not in fear of yourself. That's ultimately what it's about. And your writing, Tippy, you'll just unleash. I would say, write a list tonight. You don't have to tell anyone, Just what are the big traumas that you're denying?
Well, actually, I have very few. I got like nothing, but I
Okay.
always found this hard anger inside me, all what's wrong in the world, and
The
that's
anger
why.
is powerlessness. That's created by powerless thoughts. So
Yes, and that's why I'm writing like a, for example, like a horror film, which never seen before. I don't like horror because it's not realistic, but I wanna write something I would watch myself, like real horror show.
yeah, okay. No, I found myself watching recently a lot of horror films because I'm just bored with, you know, all these superhero films where they've got all this uber power anyway. There's no drama. There's nothing is going to, if they've got a lightsaber or whatever, nothing is going to kill them. So there's no drama. So it's like, why am I watching this? As much as I love Star Wars and that, but I've gone on to much more real stories now where there's consequence. I love Game of Thrones. I thought that was really interesting. It showed consequence. The characters,
that was good.
there were consequences to the characters' choices, and there were main characters, but a lot of the characters, that one of my favorite characters, he got killed halfway through, and I was like, whoa, this isn't like normal TV shows. This is real, and it's suddenly become much more engaging. It's almost that unpredictability is engaging. Too much stuff is format. You know, I'm a villain, so I'll show you I'm a villain. It's like, no, what about someone who's really charismatic, charming, funny, beautiful, everything is going to kill someone on page 4 and show no remorse or anything. That's psycho. That's dark without having to play dark. What I do now, I just paste in the chat. This is these are my links. If you want to follow me on social media, I do this every month. Let me just see. I've got the all right. I haven't put my. You've all come through the meetup, haven't you? So I do. You've obviously joined the group. I do these every month now. So if there's a topic you want me to talk about, the next one's going to be between Christmas and New Year, so it'll be the end of December. But yeah, I do. I'm going to do this every month. My drama score. The first month is free. Then it's $35.99 a month, and it's a 12-month course. That's going to teaches you all the Chabuk stuff. It's a practically based online drama school, whereas you could do it. You're best to do it with a friend, and we ask you to film yourself with a mobile phone and upload weekly different techniques, and then I can, you know, give you feedback and everything. But it gives you it's a layered process. So each week you're working with scripts and you're adding another element of performance. And it's all about this stuff, you know, getting you to tap into your truth, getting you to be real, but also the kind of acting techniques, whether it's method acting or not, who knows? I think it is. I think it's what they're aiming at.
And it's not clear to me what this Mr. Happiness.
Mr. That's my happiness coach.
But
it's a positive psychology, success mindset.
Right, but does it have something to do with this act coaching stuff, or it's totally unrelated?
Well, yeah, to the rest of the world, it's unrelated. But like I said at the very beginning, drama is about drama is about character in situations, and what differentiates a character from another character is their psychology. And so they go hand in hand. Once you understand human behavior, you understand character. And let me see if I can show you. There's one thing it teaches is if you're writing a horror script, this is really interesting. Let me just find it.
Don't go to .com. Possibly learn acting techniques via video training. But basically, it's an information exchange. The big difference here is that you are paying thousands of pounds.
Oh, you're on it. You're on the call. You're on the web. I wonder what that was. Where's that come? Let me just find the
and community forum and uploading regular filmed material of yourself when prompted. You're going to be able to get necessary feedback to help guide and develop you. The most important thing is that you physically perform.
We can all
the
hear
exercises set. You can only become doing
Okay, I'll just share the screen now. This is the emotional scale. How's it gone? So this is the psychology bit. So this shows, you know, from powerlessness. So all your horror characters would be down here. And, you know, your dark villainous characters, this will be where their thought patterns are. And the more optimistic you are, the happier you are. The more energy, the more you engage with life, the higher you climb the emotional scale. And at the top is love. When those of you that have been in love know that you just feel amazing and highly charged and energized. And enthusiasm is right near the top. Cool. Any questions? We're gone past 9 now. I'll let you all escape.
So is it the Stanislavski system then? Because it seems that on stage it works well, but maybe on cinema it's like old-fashioned. I don't know.
Totally it is. It's out of date. Stanislavski's out. It's 250 years out of date. So it's not relevant. There's elements of, again, it's potentially lost in translation as well. It's translated from Russian. So yeah. He gave the acting world a way forwards, but it's out of date now. You know, technology's changed the way we absorb drama and watch drama through televisions and mobiles has changed. It's all different. So yeah, anyone that's still teaching his stuff's out of date. Meisner's quite good for getting past dialogue and finding the energy underneath lines. But it's human psychology really, which is that you need to know as an actor, how people behave when under pressure, and the Chabuk stuff teaches you that. Okay, so I'll be back the next month. I'll send this recording of this out tomorrow on the chat. So if you want to watch it again, and if you've got any questions, I'll give you my.
Thank you, Stefan, for your time and for your sharing.
No, thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate it. There you go. That's my if you've got any questions or anything you want to email me.
Thank you very much. I'll screenshot it.
And I'll get the internet connection fixed next time.
Well,
That was really useful. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you,
Stephen.
Yeah, you all have a great Christmas and New Year. Well, I'll see you hopefully before the New Year. But have a great.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
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 Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.